What's good, everybody? What's going on? Stephen Foster second, aka Mr. Qualified. It's your boy. And Gail, what was that?
What? That was cold, right?
That was something.
That was cold. I might pull out a different one next week. That was hard. That was come on now. Give you bow. Applause.
Hey, Ashley, am I tweaking or does this look like Miguel has a piece on? Like a wig?
Oh, yeah. You got like a 5x5 lace closure.
I got y'all hate me because I got good hair. This is how it is. Hello, I'm Aaron Neesmith.
Man.
Hey.
That's not the Aaron I thought you were gonna say. But I'm happy you're being safe tonight.
Which Aaron? What's the other? Gordon?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not that light skinned. Hold on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm Aaron Gordon.
Wait, I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know if you know the Aaron she's referring to or not. But if you don't know, that's hilarious.
Yes.
I'm Aaron Neesmith.
Hey, bro. First off,
Aaron Gordon.
You're a colorist for that. Literally.
Hey, man. Say, man. I can't say that word anymore. We already talked about that last podcast. I took what Kendrick said personally. I'm 6 weeks. None. I heard him.
We not even about to play with y'all like that. we about to hop right into the second round, the semis. The semis are officially over. We're already at the conference finals. I think the East was split between relatively boring and relatively entertaining with their two series.
Frustrating.
Yeah, that too.
Golly, the injury bowl.
No,
yeah.
Tibbs. Sorry, I'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We can start with the irrelevant series that was Boston Boston Cleveland.
Might as well have been.
Truly. Boston Cleveland. Gentlemen's sweep. I really don't know how Cleveland won game 2 anyway. But I don't think this was a shock to anybody. Don't know if y'all have any lengthy thoughts on it, but I guess we can more so focus on the Celtics respects to the Cavs.
Ashley's got it.
Yeah.
Ashley's got it. That was the thought. You saw that?
No, that was real, but I mean, it was just good timing.
Crying. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Cavs, I guess they do have an interesting offseason. Apparently, Donovan Mitchell is happy there. Does that mean he will stay? I don't know, but they definitely have some decisions to make with a lot of their starting five and figuring out what direction they're going. But for Boston, obviously they've been contenders all season. They've had a relatively easy path thus far in the playoffs. It doesn't seem like they've had to try, but I guess that kind of seems to be what everybody thinks is going to be their Achilles heel anyway. So thoughts on the Celtics thus far and what the next two series?
Why is it looking like that, man? I'm so sorry.
Gail look like he is pissed. Like, you are.
I'm focused. I'm listening. Most times on the pod, my ADHD is running rampant. I'm just floating, and I'm just. But here, I'm listening to every word that you got to say. And I'm just not wearing glasses. What my eyebrows do, they're just behind the actual part of the glasses. I'll go first since attention's on me. I think it was an NBA series in the playoffs that went 4-1.
Boring.
Yeah,
I was not compelled. I was watching everything else, but I actively was outside having fun days with friends. I was like, it's the first time I think basketball was on, and I was like, you guys want to do something? I had no, I mean, we knew how it was going to go, I think, from the get-go, but then also, something about some teams in the NBA that I just don't want to watch them. And I think those are two.
Boston.
Both. I don't take joy in watching how either team plays.
Wow.
I think there's more teams. It's not just those two teams. It's not like Boston and Cleveland. To hell with them. Like who could be thrown there? Miami Heat. I hate watching them play basketball. I hate watching. Portland. I mean, for reasons. It's not good. What's a good team? I'm like, they're not fun to watch. Phoenix not fun to watch. A lot of ISO ball. Uh, yeah, I don't know. There's
Wait,
something
what do you like to watch then?
good basketball. Oh wait, Boston plays good-ish basketball, but I think where they get me is like, and Miami plays scrappy defense, but offensively is yuck. And then Boston even too. It's just like I hate wasted possessions, and they feel like a team full of wasted possessions, where it's like, why are we pulling up here? I mean,
Mhm.
Drew Holiday's a point guard, so it's like, you're gonna get a 3-pointer put in the first 5 seconds of that shot clock. Uh, Not to say that I am a saint of that. I play in a league with no shot clock, and I'll take that. Uh,
Hey,
but yeah, I don't know. There's just some things where it's like, they just rely on who's hot on a certain game. But then other than that, you just get some guys that are just on idle mode, where it's just like, if you went to go see Jason Tatum play a game, I'm sorry to say that the playoffs are not the time to watch them. Uh, from what I've seen, yeah, I mean, in terms of inconsistency, he's there. He might, if this playoff series does not go how it should, with them going to the finals and possibly getting one with how their season has been, you're going to start to see his name lumped in with PG in like 2 to 3 years of like super talented guy where it's just like, what have they done with their entire career?
I have a point to make about that, but want to let Ashley get in.
Yeah, it was lame. I couldn't believe Donovan Mitchell sat out, quite honestly. I don't want to like diminish what his injury was, but I just why? And then once the news of Jared Allen being out because of the rib injury, once that broke, it was like automatically over. It was a series that would have had my attention had the Cavs been healthy, but since they weren't, it was lame.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh, throw the Bucks in there too. Sometimes just
Guys.
terrible basketball to watch, where it's just like, what are we doing? Like, why Giannis needs to get the ghost of Eric Bledsoe out of his body, because if I see him do another jump pass next year, I'm jumping through my TV and I'm telling him, stay on the ground and throw a pump fake. Why are you doing? You're a 7'2". You don't need to do a jump pass. You're already taller than everybody.
Yes, there's a lot of bad basketball that gets played more often than people acknowledge in the NBA and even in the playoffs as well. But yeah,
Charlotte Hornets.
agreed. Um, unfortunate that Cleveland wasn't healthy, but yeah, really, I think the thing with Boston is, I know we've said it on this podcast, and I know a lot of sports fans have said it, but there really isn't a reason for Boston not to win the championship this year, all things considered. They have, for the most part, the best team. Even without Porzingis, they still really have the best, team. But given that they're expected to make it to the finals, Porzingis should be back at least for that question mark. We don't know exactly if this is an injury that Giannis struggled to come back from, and
Mm-hmm.
aren't exactly sure what it is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't ready, but nonetheless, um, this is a must-win situation for Boston, right? And Boston's done a lot of winning at a high level, except the winning that matters most.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of Tatum's career, really, thus far. And that's not
And he's
meant to,
young.
and yeah, he's young. So I'm not saying it like it should define his career at this point or define this Celtics era and dynasty for that matter. But at what point do we say the only thing left to do is win?
Mm-hmm.
They've been to conference finals already. If this is
6 of them.
yeah, 6 in the last 8. So that includes Tatum and
Mm-hmm.
Brown. And so it's like you've been to a lot of conference finals, you've been to a finals, right? So
Come on now.
what else needs to be accomplished? Like you got to go get the chip. So I
Yeah.
think that those expectations for Boston are across the board, right? But I think what's also across the board is the fact that nobody like
Trust
genuinely,
them.
like nobody has the confidence in Boston like a lot of people had in Denver. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people were just like, I mean, Denver's on the roll. They have the best player. They're going to do what they do. They'll win. Like nobody has that type of confidence in Boston.
Yeah.
Why exactly? I think we all kind of have this thing of just feeling like they just don't give like we're going to show you like how dominant we can be. They don't give dominant consistently for a team that has such the potential to be that. So I don't know, but given that their matchup, oh my bad, go ahead, Gil. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and if sorry, let me retract. No, let me continue. If it's anybody that is not named Luka Doncic that puts them out, I think the narrative behind who they are is going to be disgusting.
I don't even think Luka saves them from that. They should
take
out Luka this year.
No, 100%, 100%. I don't think that nothing will save them, but I do believe that they'll at least give them. They'll find a way, because if there's one thing that media is going to do, is going to give Boston a pass any way they can. And if it's Luka, I think they're going to be like, well, they just retooled really great, and Luka is this guy, and they had to go against Kyrie, and Kyrie is whatever in elimination games. So that'll be the narrative. I'm calling it now. But if you lose to the Timberwolves and a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, you got to scrap the whole team. You got to throw it all away. You got to start anew, because there's a new alpha in the league, and it's not y'all. Because y'all been talking about this is the best duo, this is the best duo. You got put out. If you get put out by a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, can it? I don't want to hear anything else. Oh, this is the best young duo. This is the best young. No, pack it up. Trade Jaylen Brown for Alspern Şengün and call it a day. And start anew.
Now, I think you have a great point as far as losing against Kyrie versus losing to Ant. But Steve and I were just talking about this. We can believe that Cat has been in the league for 9 years now. Like, yeah, Ant is the leader of that team, but they have a lot of pieces where it doesn't all fall on Ant's shoulders. Mm-hmm. Like, he went, 6 of 24 in game 7?
He's like, damn, I'm trash.
Yeah, exactly. So while he does add a significant piece to that team, it wouldn't be, oh, Anthony Edwards beat you. Like, I feel like it's more of a collective with them. Like, Rudy Gobert is the defensive player of the year. Go ahead.
No, continue. This is for after.
He's the defensive player of the year. So obviously they have an answer for Porzingis. Cat, he adds another dynamic. McDaniels, Naz Reid, like, it's a lot of names. Like, they're stacked up. And I don't think it's truly a surprise if Boston does lose to the Wolves. However, I feel like this is Boston's best chance to get a ring. This year is their best path. It's been their best path for the last 6 of 8 that they've been in the conference finals.
This would be the easiest route to a ring for them in the next
to face a non-champ in the finals.
This is going to be their easiest route. The league is only going to get better. Yep. So this is going to be their easiest chance to get out of the East, if we're being completely honest. So it's just like, no, I mean, this has to be it.
They need to.
This has to be it. This has to
be it.
And
if they don't, what was that famous quote from The Simpsons? The Simpsons. Ha ha! That one.
They will be playing the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals. I think a lot of us, mostly everybody, expected to be the New York Knicks. And of course, the injury bug hit them throughout the regular season, but just decimated them. And that's not an excuse. That's just the reality.
No, there's no excuse. No, there's no excuse. It's going to begin. So I'll go first. I'll be cleanup. I got you.
It's not all Tibbs' fault.
But it is Tibbs' fault. There's a correlation. Sorry. There is a correlation of this man coaching. I was about to start to get my pass back, but Kendrick, okay. And dudes being hurt. There's a clear point A, point B. Granted, all of the broken hand by Jalen Brunson, I've broken my hand playing basketball as a hooper, is going to happen. It's a fluke. Just happens. It's a bad swipe. But to play OG in that game is diabolical. Play OG in that game is sick. That man looked like he was missing a hip. I
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw OG's name pop up, I said,
and
nah.
he hit his first two. They were amazing. I don't know how, but you can't see that and be like, this is great coaching. There's like a ton of other dudes on the bench. You can play anyone else.
Okay. So it's not great coaching. I'm not saying that Tibbs doesn't have faults here. What I am saying is you already lose Julius Randle, right? Then somewhere in the first round, you lose Mitchell Robinson.
And then you lose Josh Hart. Why?
You said what?
You lose Josh Hart. Why?
48 minutes for what? 3 straight games?
My man was through the gulag. He was
also,
you know.
But also, so I think Tibbs chose to use the bench way too late. If we're gonna jump into that,
Where's Todd Gibson?
Oh my god!
but I mean, literally, think of how many players got injured. Randall, Robinson. People forget that.
Bojan Bogdanovic was on the team.
Yeah.
People forget that. No, he got injured. He broke his ankle or his foot, like in the Sixer series, like in game 1 or 2. Might have been 3, but anyway, early in that series. So like they did lose a lot of pieces. Now, granted, did they still have pieces that could have been used to where he wasn't burning his starting 5? Yes. But I mean, there's a lot of coaches that lean on their vets. I mean, we just saw that with Denver too, but we'll get to that when we get to them. But like, it's not that the practice is uncommon. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, Tibbs could have went deeper into his bench, but also his best bet probably was to run with the 5 anyway. They literally just broke down. But all in all, I still think that New York was in a prime position to close this series out, right? Like, I do think they had a genuine opportunity to do that. I just have to give credit to Indiana. I do not like that they are front runners. I do genuinely believe that I'm not saying they don't handle loss well. I just feel like they boost their confidence when they're winning, and they don't tend to exude it when they lose. Like, it's not consistent. That's the only thing I'll say. But in terms of what they're doing on the basketball court, man, like they're healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, they have an identity. I mean, they're building an identity, literally. And we mentioned it like when the playoffs started. We all said we didn't know if Pascal moved the needle. Like, going into the playoffs, we weren't sure. It moves the needle. It definitely moves the needle. And I think that Pascal is a huge part of why they are the threat that they are. And their young talent is good, and they're showing up when they need to. So, yeah, it really became a battle of attrition, but I'm not necessarily surprised to see Indiana win this series. Do I think if New York was healthy, they would have won it? Probably, but here we are. It is what it is. So, sucks that New York got hit the way it did within this series in particular, but I mean, still credit to Indiana, and I do think they'll give Boston the better series out the two teams as they currently stand.
The New York Knicks.
Miguel.
Dog, I can't believe that he put OG out there. That was sick. I've watched UFC religiously. I was like, this is foul. That's crazy.
No, yeah, OG, because
he was had to take a dookie. He was hitting the shuffle up and down. Someone cut in front of his face. My man couldn't move.
No, when I saw him moving, I said, nah.
And here's the thing. He played his bench, but he would play 7 guys each game, and only 7 guys. So even if he was playing his bench one game, it was still 7 guys. Didn't go any further than that. What is my man's deal? Go check up Derrick Rose's minutes per game in Minnesota.
So wait. So Gail, say he plays 8 and 9, right? Say he goes 9 deep, right? Does that put the team in the best position to win? Truly,
if they are healthy, yes. I think having healthy players puts your team in a position to win. I think playing Josh Hart 50 a game, alternate him and Hartenstein's minutes. There's only so many offensive rebounds to go around. You just need one of them on the court, right? You don't need both of them. Alternate something. You don't got. I know it's his best five that is out there, and Deuce McBride isn't Jalen Brunson and Alec Burks. Alec Burks actually was
He's
a
a
good
hooper.
replacement for
Hey,
OG.
he's a hooper.
He put up 20. Like, where was he for the first 4 games? If he had
No,
minutes in
true.
those first 4 games, maybe Josh Hart doesn't have that abdominal injury. If he's
Mm.
not burning himself out playing 50-minute OT games back to back, we might have a healthy Josh Hart to go win that series, and then we would see them against Boston. I don't know. I just have, it's crazy what this man is doing. It's insane.
Conference finals, Boston, Indiana. How many games? I'm assuming we all have Boston coming out of this series, but how many games?
Boston in 6. Indiana knows how to win in Indiana.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And clip. Indiana in 7.
I knew you
No.
were that.
Indiana in 7. This is all my Boston fans. Fuck you. Clip. But I got Boston winning it. But that's our clip. Now we're about to get engagement. And then they're gonna come to the pod like, oh, he was tripping. He had Boston winning in 6. But in my heart, Indiana could take him in 7. I do think that they pose enough of a threat. They've shown me that. I mean, they could just bury you in the first 20 minutes, and then you just don't want to play anymore. Like they've done it to enough teams. Although they're gonna need 4 more injuries like they got in these last 2 series. They're gonna need Drew Holiday to go down. They're gonna need Jaylen Brown to go down. They're gonna need Al Horford to go down, and then they win. Those are the key components. Oh, and Peyton Pritchard. Those are the 4 injuries that they need. If Indiana is going to secure this, hex on Al Horford, hex on Peyton Pritchard, hex on Jaylen Brown, hex on Drew Holiday. And then you got it. Then the finals are yours, Indiana. Do your incantations. Light them up. Talk to the moon. We have a full moon soon. You got to go crazy. You might die, but you got to go now. If you want to see Indiana get one, hex the moon. Do something that you can.
I have Boston in 6 as well. I just don't know how weird this series is going to get. Like, if it ends up going 7, I won't be like, it'll kind of be like, don't surprise me. Like, I'll be a bit shocked, but it's like, I could see Boston tricking off a game or 2, like games they can't afford to trick off, but it happens.
Yeah.
Just because, like, and Indiana takes advantage of moments like that. Like, Indiana rarely truly gets, demoralized. I haven't seen them be demoralized in the playoffs yet. Even in their bad losses, I haven't seen that. And I think that that's dangerous given that they're confident now as well. All that being said, should be Boston in 6. But if things get spicy, I would not necessarily be shocked.
Watch out for those 4 injuries.
But that's the East. To the West. OKC Dallas. Mavs take the series in 6. Are we shocked? Is my first question.
The real answer.
Are we shocked? Is my first. Not shocked. Are we surprised at how the series went? Is my first question. My second question. Grade the season for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
A+.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To start there. Ashley, would you like to go?
Oh,
I haven't done that yet. I haven't done.
Yeah, so A+. Nobody expected them to be the number 1 seed. All that good jazz. Youngest team. Wow. Youngest team in the league. So yeah, A+ for them. I'm not shocked at how the series went though. You are facing Luka Doncic and you are facing Kyrie Irving. I knew PJ Washington would be their X factor.
And Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick Jones Jr. Beautiful team. And I love Daniel. Daniel is playing some great basketball down in the middle. Good job for him too. So no, not a shocker at all. OKC just ran up on experience and they ran up on some athletic dogs, basically.
And you put that greatly. Yeah, I think I called Dallas winning, not to toot my own horn. Sucks for OKC. I hate that foul call at the end. It's a
Yeah.
foul because by the definition, even though the game before we saw one that was similar that they called it the opposite, he didn't lose the ball. He still held on to it. But it's just like, ew. No, what is this? Why do we gotta end a game like that? I want it to be, I want a fun ending, but sucks to see a game seven go that way, or game six, sorry. Yeah, you can kind of see it was coming though. My shouts out my dad. You're watching the pod now, so I gotta cook you a little bit. And he was like, the refs did it again. And I'm like, no, no. Like, it's a young team. It's a young team with a lead. That's gonna happen. Like, and yes, refs are gonna have bad calls. But then yeah, in that Dallas OKC game, it's just, it's the plight of an NBA season in 2024. 20-point lead is the new 10-point lead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to fast forward again, Minnesota's down 20 in the third quarter and beat the defending champs and kept them to 37 points in the second half. Like
What
that.
was it?
And
28-9 run in the third quarter?
yes,
That's
Mike Conley hit
insane.
some dumb stuff too, like that pump fake, lean left pull. Whoa. Sorry, I'm gonna get to that game soon. But the Dallas OKC series, you could just see that it was like a team that was young but had kind of been there versus a team that was young that has never been there. Where it's like 17-point lead, you gotta find better looks. Like, there's a lot of wasted possessions where it's like, I don't know. It didn't look like OKC of old. I feel like they were struggling with the in and out of Josh Giddey, where he would play those minutes and they couldn't. Then Shea was forced to play that scorer and facilitator role, and I don't think that others were getting the shots that they could have been taken, because that's how they start games. Josh Giddey starts, you see everyone kind of gets going, and then latter half of the game, then it's like, okay, Shea can get in his bag and then he could find guys. But like, they were pulling Josh Giddey so quick that the others couldn't get going, and Shea's on, but then you get into those dark parts of the game where someone else needs to hit, and then you're shooting for gold. Where it's like, it felt like Houston putting up those like however many threes to stay alive, and they just couldn't. Where it's like they need a bit of an interior presence to make it further, because I think that's what Dallas had on them, where it's just like that lob threat was just so severe, and they could get it from the outside still that much easier. And I think that's where OKC has to beef up a little bit. Chet was great, but you could see on the interior he was getting killed on boards, and he was getting killed on the boards in general. So whether or not it's they need to pick up another big, or they're just going to help Chet thicken up so he could play that role a little bit better, I think that's all that they're missing. But yeah, I think playing that limbo game of like Josh is in, now he isn't, kind of messed up their rhythm how they had in the regular season.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and you made a great point in that reference to SGA as well, in regards to like having to be scorer and facilitator. I We would all agree. We would all agree that he has the capacity to do both, right, and still be extremely effective. But I saw a tweet. Somebody said it's kind of like Shea like maxes out at 30 when at times like you need 40 from him. And while it was said in a joking manner, I think the idea of another gear or another level for SGA is true and is necessary. I think obviously they're going to have to address what they're going to do about Giddey and if he's going to stay, or how else they're going to kind of restructure the roster just to continue getting better. But I think in moments like that, against a team like that, like obviously this is a bump in the road for them. Like they've never been here before, so we knew they were going to run into something. And it's this thing of it's experience. It's not knowing how to hold on to a lead. It's your superstar not knowing how or not knowing how to adapt to putting his foot on the gas. Like Shea maybe needed to more so say, no, this is takeover. This is not score and facilitate. There is no balance. It's takeover. And I don't want to make it seem like it's all about the inexperience of the Thunder, because the Mavericks played great. I mean, as you both mentioned, like Luka wasn't necessarily spectacular throughout the series, but still Luka Doncic, right? Like Kyrie still has the same impact that he has, but really PJ Washington being the X factor and just like
He
you
was
said,
great.
it's a really good team that just
And
the team just makes a lot of sense. Like I
it's a
wouldn't
new Derrick Jones Jr. too. Like
yeah,
he's playing way better everywhere.
I think I mean I think it's interesting that they were built to beat a team like OKC. And as much as I love how they're built, I don't know how they look against the Wolves because how the Wolves are built. But I think that was the story of this series. The story of the series is always like who has the better matchup, and Dallas just had the better matchup in this series. But in terms of their season, like the Thunder, definitely A+. I think the fact that they had such a great season and this their ceiling speaks volumes. So seeing what they decide to do next year, whether it be what they do with their draft picks, whether it be them figuring out if they're moving on from Giddy and bettering the
Getting
roster,
rid of Gordon Hayward, my man was getting cardio.
like
Mm,
literally whatever that looks like, I think they still can only go up. So it'll be really interesting to see what they look like next year, especially with this taste, kind of left in their mouth, especially with the foul call too. So like, all of it applies and connects. But Wolves Nuggets, the defending
What
champs,
was a tweet?
are out. They will not be repeating. We talked about if this man got to the conference finals. We talked about
mm,
it. We
mm.
talked about it. But more importantly, let's kind of focus in on this series for a second. Takeaways from Denver first. I don't know what Miguel's doing.
I think Denver got too comfortable being the reigning champs.
Take my lap. Take my lap. Sorry.
Crying.
My fault. My fault. My fault. I'm back. I'm back. Took my lap.
So they got too comfortable, Ashley.
Yes, way too comfortable. I don't know what they looked at as far as film goes. I don't know if they thought this was the Wolves of old, if this was Anthony in Georgia. I don't know. But the preparation, I just don't feel like was there this year. And it's weird because I love Michael Malone. I love how he coaches the team. But Jamal Murray, it just seemed like he was so uncomfortable in any offensive set that they put him in. And that was really kind of like the snowball effect. Like the defense that Rudy played on Jokic is going to get his, but the defense he played on Jokic, I think was pretty good. Like the Wolves they did everything right, in my opinion. Go ahead.
Oh, take your time. No, there's no rush. Sorry.
No,
That,
that was it. The Wolves really just did everything right, and I feel like they came out the right way. They didn't lay down because it's Denver, and I think that's what Denver expected them to do. Like y'all are a young team, we have the experience, we're the reigning champs, we have home court. Like no, it doesn't work like that.
Okay, I got a few talking points here.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I got a few things. Shouts out Minnesota first and foremost. I'll be at a game, whether or not this one or finals. I'll be at a game. The first point that I had, Gobert, had a lengthy discussion with a friend of the pod, mystery guest from time to time that comes in, help me out with my name that player. Stood 10 toes on Gobert's ass booty. Played a terrible series. Shouldn't have had to guard Gobert at all. And here is my
Wait, who?
Gobert.
Wait,
Rudy
Gobert played a terrible
Yeah.
series?
On Jokic specifically. And here is oh God, this is tough. My defense of Rudy Gobert. Old Miguel, I know. It's tough, it's hard. But my defense of Rudy Gobert. Albeit, I don't think that he is the best matchup on the Timberwolves for Jokic. I think every time Jokic saw him, so low center of gravity, round mass, going against a tall string bean. I don't think that's ever going to work out. Because that one little shoulder had Gobert push back and that little hook. Like we saw in that game 5. He kind of cooked Gobert. But also, and he was the argument because he was like, there's no way in hell that he should have gotten DPOY over Wemby. Because when people see Wemby, they just turn right around. But people did the same with Gobert. When they see him in the paint, it's not an easy shot regardless. I just think that Gobert fought against the MVP in Nikola Jokic, who is hitting that on every DPOY and DPOY candidate that he's seeing. He did it to AD. He's doing it to the entire league, and he's walking like you can't really do anything. I think that is kind of the game plan where you have to let him go crazy so that the team doesn't do what they do. And not to say that Gobert was letting him score, because that's dumb. And he was trying his hardest. Just that Gobert was hitting nutty shit that game. He was hitting every foul that they did to him. It was an and one. Every shot where you bump him off his spot, he's hitting it off high glass. Where it's like, there's not a lot you can do. Like, and I think that in Minnesota, Cat did play the best defense on Jokic because I feel like it's weight for weight. He's not getting that push to a spot where he wants. He's meeting more resistance. And I don't think it's necessarily a shot blocking thing that you need because low key that kind of helps him to get some float on his hooks and it just floats right in. So I think Gobert being the help side to it all, I think helps out. And also he did deserve that DPOY because he's the anchor of the best defense in the NBA. And also to combat what he said where it's like it shouldn't have to be a team defense thing. It plays a part. And Gobert played his part on the best defensive team. He was the anchor of their defense. So he deserved it. He had a great series. And I think that Jokic is just going to be Jokic on whoever he plays. It's about minimizing what he can do. He's going to get what he's going to get regardless.
And he did that, especially late game.
Late game, he had a post fade off that boy. He had a post fade from the right wing. He did a Jokic on Jokic. So when it mattered, he did his thing. And then he met Aaron Gordon at the rim. He did his thing. That last game, he got respect from him. I'm not throwing shade at the mystery guest in the house because he did his thing, but he still I think does stand 10 toes on Wemby deserved that DPOY over Gobert. But I'll digress from that. Point number 2, kind of backtracking. Like, I gotta change. Change the title of this one. I'm adding some words to it. I'm adding some letters. Ants. Don't worry about one of the letters. Ants defense. Stop having lazy takes. Don't just look at the stat sheet and be like, he played better because he scored more. Because he picked his pocket and dunked on him later. And they hit a corner 3 when it mattered in a closeout game. And when it mattered, Jamal Murray wasn't hitting shots.
What did he say to the old white man? What did he say to the old white man?
Cool.
Ant turned to the old white man and said, what did he say? Where are you at? And where
are you at? Oh my God. Tyrese was in his Reggie Miller bag too. He said, that's to you. He was like, that is to you. That's your fault. I love it. I love it. He did it. Brought that light-skinned man out the grave, Reggie Miller. And he did that in the Garden. In the grave, he's just not an NBA player anymore. Ant is that man. Ant is that man. Been saying it all year. I did my lap already, so I won't do it again. But he is that man. And I need all the kids to listen at home. What he said in that end press conference is so real. And I need whoever I quoted to listen to that quote where he's like, if I was just an offensive player, we wouldn't have been here. But he said, I do believe that no matter what, I can go and I can match up with the best player and shut him down. I think I did that to Jamal Murray, which he did in the minutes that he played. Watch the first half of the game. He was not the primary defender of that man. And then when it was time, he said, I am on you like glue. I didn't see Jamal Murray breathe. That man was in his jersey. Ant plays basketball like a football player. He is something.
This is why, as kids, it's important to be a multi-sport athlete.
You have to, because there's no one as physical as him on the court. Nobody. 1 through 5. He is very strong. When he gets somewhere, he's on. Get off me. Like it's different. Like Jaylen Brown has a little bit of that. You hit a shoulder.
That's crazy.
Wow, I'm back.
That needs to be a gift.
My hair when he's like, oh God, leave.
I'm gonna use that to show how flowy my vibe is.
We just pick who we got between the Wolves and the Mavs. That's it.
Yeah, we can pick. I don't.
Me
I'm so
neither.
stoked. It's definitely going sad.
I got my winner in 5.
Whoa.
Holy moly. That's
Gentlemen,
not.
Whoa.
Bart,
You got Wolves in
big guard, not Reed.
You got Wolves in 5?
I think both these series. I think if there's one series to go 7, it's this one. I don't think the other one will. If there's one series to go 7, it will be this one. But if my Wolves, I say my Wolves, for my 5 years I spent out there, they need to get it done in 5.
I will say this short analysis on Western Conference Finals. I think that if for Dallas, Luka's not 100% healthy, so I don't know what that means for his efficiency. I don't think Luka's going to be in the torture chamber, but I do think he's going to have his hands full with either Jaden McDaniels or Nicole Alexander Walker, right? Like, I think they have enough bodies to throw at him where, like, he's going to get a lot of different looks than he's used to that aren't necessarily doubles, because you also have enough people to expand and then guard Kyrie as well. And since they don't have a interior presence that needs to be guarded one-on-one like a Jokic, it'll be interesting to see what impact like Cat and Gobert actually have. I do think how Gobert fares against small ball will be a deciding factor in the series as well. But I also think that this will be the series for Ant to really shine because there aren't any. I don't think Dallas has any top tier defenders. I think they have some decent ones. I respect Derrick Jones Jr. I respect PJ, but I don't think they are defenders that make me scared when I'm considering them guarding Ant. So, with that being said, I think the Wolves win in 6. I would love to see the series go 7, though.
Yeah. No backlash there.
Caught Kobe's question, Kyrie.
Not doing it. Nope. I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining it.
I got a quick 30 seconds I could burn.
You do. And I swept you, Gail. Anyway, essentially,
real bad.
I'm not even trying. You want me to try?
Duh.
Because I had the last one. I just didn't want to say it. I'm like, that's too obvious.
Okay.
It was. I literally thought it, and I was like, I'm just not gonna say it because I'm like, that's cheap.
Then say
If
this.
that's cheap, then that's cheap.
Say this one. Say this one.
Okay. Because in Milwaukee,
Point guard 6'5". Shooting guard 6'4". Small forward 6'8". Power forward 6'6". Twist those. Small forward 6'6". Power forward 6'8". And center 6'11".
Hold on, I'm pulling my NBA roster.
6'5", 6'4", 6'6", 6'8", 6'11".
Yeah.
Conference.
Huh? What was this? 6'5", 6. Huh?
6'5", 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", 6'8", 6'11".
Okay.
Six five point guard.
Indiana Pacers.
Yep.
I told you, if I lock in, I got it.
I guess he was right.
Come on now. Come on. Look, frozen on the right face. I'm not even gonna put my mic back in. I look so heroic. I told you, if I got it, I got it. It was the first team I thought of last time. And I'm back. Wait, what did I do at the beginning? Come on now. I told you. It's too easy. When I heard 6'5" point guard, I said, boom. Hear me out. And I got my team.
The 6'4" shooting guard was really what was throwing me off, but Nembhard.
Andrew, yeah.
I just locked in on 2 positions. I said point guard, center, boom. I got it. That was too quick, right? Come on now. Give me another one. I'll get
Anyway,
one. They call me one time Tony or
it's my
one time
bedtime.
Juan.
One time Tony is crazy. Yeah.
What? There's no negative connotation that could be.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
See, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say something off the record, but we gotta
No,
be
it's
off
on
the.
it.
It's
Only on it.
it's on the record.
It's up to you whether or
I'm
not
waiting
you.
till I hear that recording. Stop.
No, say it.
Go ahead, man.
I'm waiting till I hear Juanita. I'm waiting till I hear Juanita. It's a family friendly show. I got kids over at the high school watching, and I already got my bag off. I already said
They
shit.
say stuff that you probably are surprised by.
Oh no, they say some stuff I don't want to hear. I am like, it's 8 a.m. It's 9 a.m. It's 10 a.m. I don't want to hear that. You don't need to tell me that. I know I look like I don't need to hear all that.
Right,
Like
right.
y'all, autonomy, do your thing. I am me. Anyways, anywho, Indiana Pacers 1-0 in my book when I try. But Qualls, get better. Catch you next time on the Right Quality Podcast. I've been Miguel Brown, also known as Aaron Neesmith. Wait, also known as Aaron Neesmith, also known as Aaron Gordon. It's been a great show.
No,
On
why
that,
did you make me laugh like that? I hate that.
on that
I
note,
hate that.
we gonna let Miguel sign us out.
I just allowed the two Mizzou alum to follow me. I had to, get mental clearance from my girlfriend. We're there. We're here. So welcome to the podcast.
MIZ.
Yo. Hey man.
How many more votes do I got to do?
Oh my God. Oh my God.